Contrast, foils. Life is all about contrast and foils, right? As I said, diamonds on black backgrounds always look brighter. I said it's President Trump's job right now, former President Trump, to create contrast. If he's going to run again in 2024, I believe he's going to. I have no inside baseball on that. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. He has to create a constant contrast with Joe Biden, the disaster that's happening now under the Biden administration every single day. Forget about this. Oh, we got to give the president a honeymoon and let Biden do his thing for a while. Former presidents stay quiet. Yeah, you can throw that out the window. Former President Obama did everything he could to sabotage the incoming Trump administration, including accusing him of being a Russian traitor. So I'll take a hard pass. You can jam that one up your caboose, this whole, former president's supposed to stay quiet nonsense. That's out. But the whole foil contrast thing works. I mean, think about it, right? Godzilla versus King Kong, the movie that's out this weekend, right? Did crazy numbers, and at least for this current pandemic. People love contrast. They love versus. They love fights, right? Batman versus Superman, whatever it may be. So President Trump's taking my advice. You'll see this Fox News story, which will be in my newsletter today, bongino.com/newsletter if you'd like to get it. Trump says he'll probably visit the southern border soon in an exclusive interview with Fox News. Yes, yet the verdict is in. The gavel is down. Excellent decision, President Trump. Way to rock and roll. Go down there. Bring the media with you. Show you're not scared of anything. Bring them to the border wall you helped construct under your administration. That'd be a great idea. And you'll notice something, Joe. You know what's not happening at that border wall? There's probably not a lot of illegal immigration there because there's a wall.
Yeah.
Wall, obstruction, walk, wall. Can't walk through wall unless you're that Rogue character from the X-Men. There's no going through the wall. I think it was Rogue. Could be wrong. I'm terrible with pop culture. But wall, obstruction. Can you climb a wall? Yes, but then you need a ladder, which causes kind of an obstruction and makes it harder. That's the whole idea of a wall. Walls, simple machines, inclined planes, wheels, fire. Yes, these may be old technologies, but they still do the job. Contrasts. Show everyone in the media, former President Trump, everyone in the media, what your border section looks like, where your wall was built, and bring the media with you, showing transparency. You got the media. You're not scared. And showing that diamond on a black background, what your administration looked like with immigration policy and now the current chaos. Contrasts, always. Also, I can't recommend this highly enough. I'm going to get to a minute in the fake chaos of the Trump administration versus the real chaos right now and how the media wanted you to create this contrast too in the other direction. They wanted to create a negative contrast. But I can't encourage President Trump to do this enough. Apparently, there was a wedding at Mar-a-Lago this weekend, and the boss just pops in. He just pops in. I love this stuff. Extemporaneous President Trump is the best President Trump. He is. When he's not locked into a teleprompter and he's just talking, that's when he's at his best. So hat tip TMZ, who got a hold of this video. Here's President Trump this weekend at Mar-a-Lago. He just pops in a wedding. I don't know why he's in a tux. Maybe he was at another event. Who knows? But he just pops in and decides to give a little political speech. Here's about 30, 40 seconds of it. Again, creating a contrast about the crap Biden's doing now with China, Iran, and the border, and what he's doing. This is a wedding speech. A wedding speech. He's not even like, I'd like to congratulate the groom. He's a really wonderful guy. He comes in and gives a speech. I love this. More of this, Trump. Check this out.
It's a humanitarian disaster from their standpoint, and it's going to destroy the country. And frankly, the country can't afford it because you're talking about massive, just incredibly massive amounts. Our school systems, our hospital systems, everything. So it's a rough thing. And I just say, do you miss me yet?
Do you miss me yet? Come on, this guy's great. I love that. Extemporaneous off-the-cuff Trump is the best Trump. We need more of that. Less kind of scripted interviews and more of that. I love that about him. All right. Now, again, the theme of today's show, contrast. Contrast foils all the time. This is what matters in politics. Things always seem, you can make things appear more dramatic sometimes by creating a foil. But sometimes you don't need to make anything appear more dramatic. The contrast is dramatic. Let's contrast again the fake immigration chaos of the Trump years. Fake because the media wanted a narrative out there with the real chaos going on now. Remember this, the Daily Beast? Daily Beast ran this story, pumping the expertly crafted kids in cages narrative, which was fake chaos during the Trump years at the border. The kids in cages story was, I have to give the Democrats credit, and it pains me to do this. But keep in mind, I'm not agreeing with them, but I'm saying, folks, candidly, they are just better than the Republicans at crafting narratives. What are narratives? They're quick, digestible sound bites people remember. Russian collusion, kids in cages. We still remember it now. This was an expertly crafted narrative. It was. People remember it now. Trump, kids in cages. That's right. Even though, here's the headline from the Daily Beast, by the way, by Danica Fears. Danica Fears. You couldn't have a better last name for this story. Danica Fears. Yes, so do we. We fear Danica. Man who helped Trump put kids in cages is anonymous. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump didn't put kids in cages. Those cages were built by the Obama administration. But to this day, silly liberals who have a real problem with facts and homework and stuff still believe it was Trump that put kids in cages. And even when the fake chaos of the Trump administration threw kids in cages, oh my God, Trump's got kids in cages. Everybody's like, kids in cages. We got to stop the kids in cages. The cages were an Obama phenomenon. Even when this thing was debunked, they always had to put a caveat in it. Here's the Washington Post. When everybody found out the cages were actually built by Obama, this is Nick Miroff in the Washington Post. Quote, kids in cages? It's true that Obama built the cages at the border. That should be it. Oh, keep that title up. That should be it. That should stop right there. But no, there always has to be a caveat emptor, buyer beware. But Trump's zero tolerance immigration policy had no precedent. Again, this is a Democrat scandal. If it is a scandal at all, people have to be held in some facility if they come in the country illegally. We can't just let them all go. Obama built the cages. But notice how the Washington Post, even when they debunk it, has to put a little asterisk next to it, right? Creating their own contrast. Oh yeah, Obama did the kids in cages, but Trump's zero tolerance policy had a lot to do with this too. Everything's about contrast in the media. This is how they built the fake chaos of the Trump years, by narratives. Again, sick narratives, disturbing narratives, but crafted with incredible strategic brilliance. People still to this day swear that President Trump put the kids in the cages. This is fake. This was fake chaos in the Trump years. It wasn't real. People had to be detained, as the Biden administration is finding that out now. I'll show you what they put them in a minute. So they've taken down the cages, which is just a chain link fence, by the way, that Obama built. They've taken that down for something different. But before we get to that, notice how the GOP were not as good at crafting these narratives and creating these foils and these contrasts, but Trump is. Trump is very good about this. He zones right in when he sees weakness and he leverages it. He did it all the time. Everybody was little hands, Marco, little Mike. He was good at this, creating contrast, making himself, puffing a bit, peacocking, chest out, right? Like the guy from, what is that, Couples Retreat. Yes. Remember the yoga guy? Yes. Puffing your chest. Yes. Trump's good at this. The GOP, you know that guy. But the GOP is just not. Here's an opportunity right here. I want you to watch this short video. 2 Republican senators down at the border. You want to see real chaos? Not the fake chaos the media wanted you to believe in the Trump years. Here's the real chaos of what's going on now. That, again, the media is just kind of casually covering, but they're not making stuff up. They're not making up fake kids in cages lines. They're trying to minimize this now. What about the real chaos of the Obama years? Everybody does that, and I just did it. Biden. Under the Obama-Biden years, everyone does that in the media. It's like some verbal tick. What about this narrative? Where's the GOP on kids under bridges? Oh my gosh, what does that mean? Well, you don't have to just look for yourself. Here's these two GOP senators at the border. Check this out.
So this is no crisis at the border, right?
This is, and look at this.
Right.
And this is just folks coming across the border,
They're
unaccompanied.
housing them under a bridge.
Yes, and we're down here near midnight on Thursday evening, and I've not been here before. Have you been here?
I was here 2 years ago, and it bears no resemblance. We were controlling the border. Now we're hearing that Border Patrol is spending more time helping these families while criminals are bringing drugs and illicit materials into the United States. They don't have the resources to stop the illegal flow because the administration is allowing this flow that we see behind us.
So the same media, the Daily Beast and others in the Washington Post, who had a huge problem with kids in cages that Obama built under the Trump administration, don't seem to have any problem with kids under bridges. This is not a sitcom just bought out by Roku or Hulu. This is real. Watch the video. Folks, please watch the video version of my show today. It's free. No cost to you. Rumble.com/Bongino. Please watch that video. Not figuratively. There are literally kids under bridges locked in by snow fencing. But notice we just don't see the kids under bridges narrative out there anyway. I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. Kids under bridges. Haven't heard that one yet. Kids under bridges. When you hear about people living under bridges, you typically think about the inhumanity of being homeless, right? You see people under bridges. There are only two types of people under bridges. People who are homeless and have nowhere else to go, who are seeking shelter, or in Florida, the poor motorcycle guys who always get caught on I-95 because it rains at 3 o'clock every day in Florida in the summer. That's really it. So when you hear about kids under bridges, you would think that would be some kind of a crisis. But no, not at all, because Joe Biden's in charge. So the media needs to kind of minimize that, minimize.